I was like, come on, get it done. So when we got to that point, I started looking at all the dynamics of what it looked like because I felt like my husband needed a because all these women are bisexual and they want to sleep with me, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. I didn't sign up for that. So I brought it to my husband and I'm like, you are gonna eventually still want to have that experience, the what if of sleeping with two women. You want that threesome. So I started saying, okay, well, what that woman's bi, so she may want a woman on the side that's lesbian, that's only sleeping with her, or she may go find another bisexual woman that the two of y'all would have a triad. So then there's a triad, and then there's me. And so I'm like, okay, after a while, I'm gonna get bored because y'all off doing y'all thing, having fun, sleeping, and my husband made it very clear that it's not about the threesome, but at the end of the day, I was looking at what his needs were. I wanted him to have that experience. So because I wanted that, I really kept pushing the fact that over time you two may get bored with each other and want to bring a third in. So you bring a third in, the way that I brought it to my husband, you only have two hands. You're gonna be busy dealing with your triad, and then I'm gonna be over here by myself, bored and taking care of house bills, house duties, YouTube accounts, business situations. I'm gonna be taking care of all this stuff while y'all over there living y'all best life. So I'm in my mind putting together all these scenarios of, his V, his own V, and then me on the side. And I'm like, what does that look like? And so we're coming up with all these scenarios, legit scenarios. And it got to the point where I was looking at, I'm going to be bored at home while you're out because our goal is to live in Vegas. And people, if you know about Vegas, you know about Vegas. So I'm looking at the fact like, yeah, I'll go out, I'll have fun with y'all. We can go to the adult clubs, we can do all those things, we can travel together. But at the end of the day, I think we even talked about Hito. If y'all don't know about Hito, look up Hito. Don't go to Hito if you ain't ready for Hito. That's all I'm saying. Don't book a flight thinking, oh, this sounds great. And then you get there and your mind's blown away because you see a bunch of naked people having sex. I'm just saying. Don't say I didn't warn you. So I'm like, you I'm willing to partake in all of these things, but it won't be me partaking in activities because you're gonna be doing it with this woman that's willing to sleep with other women. So it got to the point where I'm like, at some point, I'm going to get bored and start dating on my end. So I will be in a monogamous relationship, so to speak, while my husband has a whole triad potential situation going on over here. And my husband, we didn't know that that's an actual, um, I was just saying it in the sense because for me, I don't have to have sex with someone. So there's sapiosexual and demisexual,
Mm-hmm.
which is it's not someone. So initially, one is you have to, and I've always said this. I just didn't know it had a term of you have to satisfy my mind before you can satisfy my body. So I would say my husband is so intelligent. Like he gets to talk about stuff, and I'd be like, okay, keep talking. Go ahead, baby. Go ahead. Let me stop. So So he gets to talking and telling me things and educating me. And like, I eat healthy because of my husband. I don't eat meat. I don't eat dairy products. Like, he'll send me stuff to educate me. And even just that alone is like a turn on because he cares about my health. He cares about me knowing about different things, spirituality and myself and foods, just everything that's going on in the world. So for me, it's not about having a sexual relationship on the side. I would be like, okay, well, I'm bored. I need somebody to talk to while y'all out at the Green Door in Vegas. I need somebody to talk to. So I think that was a different dynamic. And then we found out later, after going back and forth and talking and whatever else, that there is a couple that, not a couple, a triad that we follow. Um, that's what's going on in the relationship. They haven't posted in a while, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Um, but I'm saying all this to say that you really need, if this is the route you want to go, you really need to educate yourself. And I would not start with Facebook because you go get disappointed. And I won't even say don't start with Facebook. There are some really good groups like Black Poly. Oh, what is that one? I think it's Black Poly Relationships. It's not the lit one. It's Black Poly Relationships. They educate a lot, and then there's a Las Vegas one that it's only for information. If you start trying to holler at someone on a public post, they will shun you. If you don't do a bio and represent your bio accordingly, they'll kick you out. I literally had to take notes on what these uh relationship posts needed to include because that's how specific they are. So there's one, you definitely have to say what you're looking for. So if you're looking for female, male, female, then it needs to be that, because I think that's considered a V. I think, but maybe not, because it goes further into what is your whatever. So if you're looking for female, female, male, that's a whole different dynamic. I think that would be considered the two females are sleeping together, and one of those females are sleeping with a man.
Oh, so you trying to say male? I mean, female, male, female.
Is a V, and female, female, male is still a V, but only the two females sleep with each other, and one of those females sleep with a male, because it literally, people have listed it male, female, 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 male, female, male, female.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a headache. So before y'all get into these groups, educate yourselves.
First of
Watch
all, don't even don't educate yourselves until you heal yourself.
that
Like,
part.
like what? Be honest. Be honest with yourself. Like, um, for what you was feeling, baby. It's hard to tell somebody, hey, I trust and I know that I won't get upset and be whatever. Think think about it, people. Is it logical that she wouldn't get upset at me being in a relationship with somebody else at the same time with her? Think about it. Would she? Because if she would, then this long distance relationship will have a bunch of kinks in it. Will have
Exactly.
a bunch of kinks in it. There's stories about people having their find me on and all that stuff, and they leave in their phones at like a Walmart. You mean to
Oh,
tell me you've been at Walmart or Target for 2 hours? No, he hid his phone in the toy section with the board games because board games are not flying off the shelves that doggone quick. He hid it back there, turned his ringer off, vibrator off, vibration off, or whatever. So even if she called or whoever called, and he went across the street from where the target was at, and he was having a relationship, he was banging out with his fang out. You know, um, that could easily be done on both parts. So really, if she really had trust issues or anything like that, or if she was if she would have been upset about it, this long distance relationship would really not work. Dang, I got low batteries.
Do you really?
Yeah, it's all good. We got 20%, so we got about maybe an hour.
Okay. We probably, hopefully, we don't take that long, but I do want to give enough. I want to give enough.
Yeah,
Now,
the floor is yours, baby. Sorry,
I
go ahead.
no, it's okay. I definitely want to say what my husband just said. Like, we've been apart, so I find it repetitive, but I feel like we have to say it because at some point we're gonna have new viewers that are not gonna go back and watch our old videos. So we're currently apart. I am in Arizona. He is in Minnesota. We used to live in Minnesota, and then I moved here during the George Floyd riots in 2020. My husband, I filed for divorce because there's just mentally there's a lot going on. Um, so I filed for divorce. My husband came down in October of 2020,
Hmm.
and then you were here for about a year.
9 months. I came at the pretty much on
Oh,
the end of October and
okay,
left in
August.
August 2nd.
So when he left, we were not. Communication sucked. Understanding sucked. Supporting each other sucked. The communication was killed everything because if you have communication, then everything else would not be an issue. So our communication sucked. He wound up leaving, and from there we were separated until my dad passed in December of 2020. In Yeah, 2021, and then from there it went uphill because my husband started on his spiritual journey with someone that he had been following for years. And so he got into the class and he's like, there's this video that I need you to see. And so the guy was talking about losing his son and sitting on his son's bed and just being connected to his spirit or his soul. And my husband's like, you need this. And so he put me in the class, which we need to get back in there like this week, probably. Okay. Um, so my husband paid for my own class, and I learned so much. I had in that time frame in I was in the class for about a month and a week, and in this time, my husband was dating. I was trying to date. Don't do Facebook dating. Don't do any type of dating on Facebook. Don't get into groups. Don't do Facebook dating. Um, but in that time frame, I was attempting to date, and it helped me to understand. I got to a point where I made a wants and needs list. Now, mind you, my husband was in a relationship. I was talking to this guy that was a Sagittarius. Um, that was what I thought was a good guy. I still don't know. I don't understand all of that. Um, but we connected on like a with Zod whatever. I made this list of wants and needs, and this was before my husband and I even started attempting to. We were not looking at getting back to with each, and we started and healing ourselves from the class. We would talk about what we're learning. We would talk about what we read. And I started feeling like I need to apologize for a lot of things in the past. Even if in the past I didn't feel like it was my fault or I didn't start it, I didn't do it, it's all your fault, pointing fingers. I still had to apologize because at the end of the day, When you have issues in a relationship, both of y'all are responsible for that issue. Both of y'all. You can't say, no, this is all in him, it's his fault. No, you have a role in that too. And so I had to apologize and be accountable for my part. Whatever that looked like, I had to apologize. It's so easy to point the finger, but when you point the finger, how many fingers is pointing back? How many point fingers is pointing back at you? So you have to be accountable for you and what you play in that too. So I did that. I apologized for so much. I think in a 2 week time frame, we had conversations every day because it wasn't even about us getting back together. It was for us to move forward and be healthy in the relationships that we're looking to attain. We need to let go of our past and heal from our past. So we did that. Now, mind you, he's still in Minnesota. So we're having this conversation. We're healing. We're we're having teary moments, crying, and but we're healed. We start having conversations and saying, I understand where you were coming from. I see where I did wrong. I see how I was at fault for that situation. I see how I didn't properly communicate. And that led us to fast forwarding to my husband even looking at the current relationship he was in to me and like, okay, is this even healthy for me? Is this a healthy environment? If what I'm he put in the effort in his dating relationship. I think she and I'm just assuming she just wanted a few things from my husband.
She 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 wanted, and because I was in it, and even when we wasn't really talking per se, like after your pops died or what, passed or whatever, I would check in on you like every week, or every 2 weeks or whatever. But in them time frames or whatever, yeah, I saw at times like, yeah, so before we really got into talking every day like we did, I was already seeing, red flags or whatever. Hell, even the day of his passing was a red flag to me. So it wasn't what it was cracked up to be. Like, I think, and I cold hardly think she was looking for a as you will, a Mr. Saverho or whatever, and an scapegoat or whatever have you. And my credit was better than hers, and even though I had child support or whatever, I was still making a little bit more money than her. Uh, just she was living with people, I'm living with people. On like, if that, I'm glad that apartment didn't work out for us, because even then, I told my I told my wife then, back then, like, yeah, I was, even when I was went to go see it, I was I already had, like, thoughts of like, yeah, stepping out, like, you know what I'm saying, because it really wasn't what I was thinking it was supposed to be. But I wrote it out because, what man didn't want sex, but at the same time, I wanted that and everything else, and you're not giving me everything else. So
So that led to them separating, us talking more cuz again, like he said, he was checking in on me. And at the time I had people in my life, like my friends and then other people that have been around for either years or recent, that I'm like, these people ain't checking in on me. These people don't care about what I'm going through mentally. I started blocking. I went on a whole blocking spree for like 2 months. If it didn't look right or sound right, if it wasn't coming with the right energy, block, 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 block. phone numbers, Facebook pages, Instagram, TikTok. I was on a blocking frenzy because I realized by being in that group, if we're not on the same energy, the same frequency, if you want to drop your location and I just lost my dad, like, did you hear what I said? You didn't hear me? You just hear that I'm in Minnesota? Yeah, no.
Telling her to drop her location. She's in grieving. Not no, not drop her location. I'm gonna drop my location. Pull up on me. For what? She's grieving, and she wasn't mobile. She flew up here. She was she. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I know. I
Just
know.
being very inconsiderate. You know,
Selfish.
selfish because he was in it. He was trying to get all the wrong things.
Oh, she's it was an opportunity to, oh, she's vulnerable, so come see me. I ain't that stupid. Whatever. I blocked everybody. My friends were like, you only blocked it because Iconic is around or what? No, no. That's what y'all want to believe and think because y'all aren't healed and y'all don't understand. I done made a whole want. Well, that was before the wants and needs, but I'm no.
Well,
At that
finish up.
we're in a whole relationship, so
Finish up on that wants and need.
um, yeah, okay. You just want me to say what the list consists of?
Well,
No,
no,
hold on.
generalize it.
Yeah, generalizing it. So, the wants and needs list. Um, I want to get it. I think it's right here actually. Um, looking at the list, even when I still look at the list and I'm like, I did not realize what I did. So I made a want and need list based off of me dating from September to the end of February. Like literally the end of February is when I met the last Sagittarius that just flat out disappeared on me. Um in that time frame of dating, I realized what I wanted, what I needed, and what I was getting or wasn't getting. And so I would write down, I'm getting the list. I would write down what I wanted or needed that I wasn't getting. Hold on.
Yep.
Let me make sure this is the right notebook. Yes. Okay.
She got a
So
million and one notebooks.
so this is the list. I don't want y'all to be reading all my personal stuff. Now look, it says February 2022. Um you can see I made this list over a certain time. So for the most part I try to use the same pen, but then you see there's like different color pens. So over time of me dating, I would write down what I wanted and needed, what I was missing. Um like yeah, I'm not even gonna touch this list. What number do you want me to speak on,
You know
baby?
what? Read the last one.
The last one?
Yeah, because even I don't even know that one. I just
Okay.
know number 17.
So some of these are repetitive, but again, y'all have to remember that when I made this list, I was still in the fog from um not losing, from my dad passing, and then in February my uncle passed. So in the time frame of me making this, I was still in the whole fog. So some of the stuff is repetitive, but just written differently. But number 45, because there's 45 on the list, is open, honest, and direct.
Now I understand that this video was supposed to be about poly, but please understand, you I believe that you cannot even get in to poly or whatever without doing the necessary work on yourself. And this is part of it. I made a list too. I think I had probably 22 on there or whatever. Um, but open, honest, and direct. That's one of the main things that they want in a poly relationship. Um,
So I'm gonna fast forward. You think about that thought, baby. Fast forward. So nonetheless, we're in two separate states because when my husband went back, financially it just made sense for him to stay in Minnesota. Um, because being here in Arizona, what he is making there compared to what he potentially could have been making here is not even close. So we decided for him to stay there, be with the kids because the youngest is 17. She'll be 18 in July.
couple
And
months away.
yes, that is the youngest of five. So
Mm-hmm.
it was just for us, we agreed, yes, he's going to stay there. We have traveled back and forth every so many months. We go back and forth. Um, we make it work. Um, so with that being said, in a poly relationship, for that woman to come at me the way she did, I didn't put a full, so I made a bio of what we were looking for, what we about us, about my husband, whatever. Put up pictures, what we were potentially looking for, someone to travel with, grow with, have fun with, whatever. I'm finding out, number one, I'm not specific enough in my post.